So part 2 on Chris Christie. We're going to go around and talk about, no, just kidding. They were talking about Chris Christie all through the break. They wouldn't shut up. They just wouldn't shut up. All right.
You better hope this block outrates the Christie block.
I know. I guarantee you. Everybody during the Christie block, they went out and they bought a bottle of scotch and cried.
You want to know about the history of special elections?
I don't care.
All
right. Not a lot. I'll be fast. So Richard Windsor was awesome. A certified scholar of ethical behavior who regularly communicated with senior Obama officials. He also didn't exist. The crony was a phony. Yeah, Richard Windsor was a fake name used by Lisa Jackson on email while she ran the EPA. Jackson did this, she says, because her real address was public. But this doesn't explain why Jackson used it to communicate with environmental activists or why the Windsor emails never mentioned that they were from her. Now, some think a fake employee is actually better than a real one. Fake ones can't line dance and then charge you for it. But this alias once again reveals this administration's flaw, that the liberal civil servant's role is no longer to govern, but to coerce. An alias yakking with green activists doesn't fall under governing. It's sneaky politics. But also the aliases make you wonder who's real and who's not. Is Biden just a lovable hologram? When was the last time we actually saw the White House dog? But perhaps the most elaborate figment is the president himself, conceived and operated by Valerie Jarrett from her secure pod inside Amelia Earhart's sunken plane. Maybe I give him too much credit. Seriously, you unethically create an alias to talk to activists, and then that alias wins ethics awards. Only in the alternate reality of Obama's Washington. It's the same reality where a video caused Benghazi, the IRS is non-political, and Eric Holder is called competent. Too bad the rest of us are stuck here in the real world.
I love a certificate.
Well, Dana,
I used to love that star chart.
Well, no, this is what's so sad. A lot of these things you filled out were these things you do when you're not working. Like when you're sitting at your desk, I think I'll fill out the company, are you a good employee?
It's a requirement. Like you have to do these things for the government. They'll say, like, you have to finally fill out this document that says, like, self-evaluation and things like that.
You probably filled them out the first day on the job. By the way, I checked out your alias account under Bush. It was pixiestickprincess at AOL.com. I want to ask you, if Bush...
.gov.
What? .gov, yes.
Just so it'd be all on the
If a Bush appointee had been using alias emails to contact coal companies, what would happen?
I can't imagine.
Yeah.
This is a weird thing, is that people, I can understand why the head of an organization needs to have an email address that is separate. So
right.
And it's under .gov, and if it's .gov and it's still part of FOIA, that's great. But in some of these reports, apparently people didn't even know it was her that they were communicating with. They thought Richard Windsor was a real person. But the thing is, for me, if you're a cabinet official, the best excuse to not be saddled with email is to be in the cabinet. And just to say, sorry, I can't do email.
Yeah.
And just get rid of that whole headache. That'd be the only reason I'd go back into government.
What is wrong with a political appointee not having themselves exposed to the Freedom of Information Act? And how is this different than Dick Cheney meeting secretly with oil companies?
You mean the most transparent administration in history? I mean, this plot is more twisted than days of our lives.
I know we're not supposed to say anything about George Bush's administration, but Dick Cheney met secretly with oil companies to forge a policy. What is different than that than these people talking to environmental activists?
Oh, my gosh. Okay, first of all, I don't know. We don't have to talk about that. The Supreme Court decided that it was not a problem. And actually, if you look at the legislation, it was quite balanced and actually very good. So that's the point. Richard Windsor was a fake person. You have a fake person as the head of the EPA who was like filling out. Forget the fact that everything she said was totally legitimate. She's actually spending time on taxpayer dollar time filling out little reports and tests so that she can get Richard Windsor, a fake person, a certificate that she could put on her refrigerator.
That's the point.
But she's a politician. I mean,
wait a minute. Whoa. First of all, the most transparent administration in history. The head of the Environmental Protection Agency is taking time out of her day when she's supposed to be protecting the environment to take compliance and ethics courses online for a phony email. It's like silk stalking.
Nothing wrong with it. Nothing.
She's protecting her environment.
Yeah, exactly.
Meanwhile, Apple hired her.
Yeah, I know.
Apple decided that this is the best person for the job.
Can you imagine her salary?
That's about access.
What name did she use in the interview?
The head of what's the Whole Foods? Remember the guy who the founder of Whole Foods?
When did you guys get holier than thou about stuff like this? I mean,
okay, what about? Do you remember the whole political?
It's all right.
The whole RNC email scandal in the last 2 years of the Bush administration?
What?
You're making up for lost time.
Did I interrupt you again?
Yeah, it's all right.
Probably because you didn't have much to say. I was
I have nothing to say.
the email scandal with the Republicans. No, I don't remember.
Yeah.
That's the great thing about being
Conveniently.
Beckel. Everything that's past about 8 months, you don't remember.
That's correct.
It's fantastic.
It's usually from yesterday.
You roofie yourself, don't you, Bob?
Yes, I do.
This is the AP. The AP is the one that's reporting on this
Yes.
email story.
Eric, do you want to finish your point?
No,
trying to get even.
Finish your point.
That's quite all right. I'll pick it up next.
Did you have a point? I'm sorry.
I did have a point. Okay, kids.